What's going on, everyone? So Cam Reddish has been in the lab, absolutely putting in work, and you gotta love to see it for a couple reasons. The biggest one is Cam Reddish has this reputation for his lack of putting in work at the gym, right? Like that's kind of been a thing that has kind of plagued him in college as well as in the pros of like, he doesn't, is this a guy that's willing to work hard? Is this a guy that's willing to put in the hours in order to improve and be a better version of himself? And we've seen him at the Lakers facility. There's videos and images and all kinds of stuff of him like really putting in work. And I love to see it because, look, I have been super high on Cam Reddish for years now. I have wanted the Lakers to acquire Cam Reddish on several occasions, and they almost did on several occasions, literally. This is a guy that is legit 6'8", could play, 2 through 4 if you need him to. Has, a 7'1" wingspan, I believe, top of my head. But just a good size, physical type two-way wing, which is what the Lakers need. This guy has so much upside, so much potential. He's young enough to have been drafted in this year's draft, right? Like if the Lakers drafted Cam Reddish this year in the draft, people would be talking about the Lakers got the steal of the draft, right? Like this guy is that good. He was top 10 pick. He just hasn't been in the position to have success, right? This is a guy that he was in Atlanta, showed some real promise those years in Atlanta, right? I mean, his rookie year, he averaged 10.5 points, shot 80% from the free throw line, shot 42%, 43% from the field, 45, we'll round it up to 46% overall, and was a 33% three-point shooter, which, again, this is a rookie. This was his rookie year, age 20, coming in, right? Played 27 minutes a game, started 34 of them, played 58 total. Right? And then you just started seeing the decline year 2 in Atlanta because Atlanta decided, hey, let's go the veteran route and let's try to make a push. They make the Eastern Conference Finals. And then next thing you know, he's getting shipped off to the New York Knicks in the 2021-2022 season. And he just never had a shot. Tibbs never wanted him to begin with. That was abundantly clear and open. But the Knicks had already agreed and was working on the trade, so they weren't just going to back out of it. End up trading for Cam Reddish, and he never really got a shot with Tibbs. And look, Tibbs has a history of this kind of thing. I mean, Evan Fournier has been very public about just going after Tibbs. And, again, I've talked about this before. It's really hard to be motivated and wanting to work hard when you're in an environment that is relatively toxic and they don't want you, like cue the Will Smith memes of Fresh Prince. Why don't he want me, man? Like that's basically Cam Reddish, right? Like how would you feel if you had to go to work every day knowing that like your boss and none of these people here want anything to do with you, and as soon as they can get rid of you, they're going to get rid of you? How much motivation, how much, hard work are you going to put into that job? That's basically what it was with the Knicks. The Knicks tried to trade him like literally 2 weeks after they acquired him. And then ultimately he ends up getting traded to the Portland Trail Blazers after like three or four failed attempts. And look, he was solid for Portland. He gave them 11 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1.5 steals, and just under a block. He played just under 28 minutes a game for them. Shot 44% from the field overall. His three-point shooting still needs to improve, right? He's about a 32% three-point shooter. He has had a year. The year that he ended up getting traded, he shot 38% from 3 on 4.5 attempts, which is his second most of his career. So this is a guy that has the potential to be a legit three-point shooter. And I don't think it's a coincidence that he had his best three-point shooting year, and then every year after that, it dropped. So he has his best year shooting the 3 ball, and then gets traded, and he hasn't been the same since. Hopefully with the Lakers, he gets back to that form, because this is a guy that the Lakers would love to keep long-term. They have been clamoring over Cam Reddish for years now. And so has a lot of Laker Nation, right? A lot of us have. And it's going to be a real battle because Cam Reddish and Max Christie, I think one of them is the odd man out. I really do. Now, that doesn't mean that they're never going to play, right? Like if Cam Reddish ends up getting the nod over Christie, it doesn't mean that Max Christie is just never going to play the game of basketball. No, it just means that, this year it'll probably be sparingly. Maybe they even split minutes, right? Maybe the Lakers kind of work it out where, like, say there's 20 minutes at shooting guard or something like that a game, right? Like maybe they split it 10 and 10, or one night Reddish gets 15 and then Christie gets 5, and then the next night it's Christie gets 15 and Reddish gets 5, and they kind of go about that throughout the course of the season. That could be a real possibility. But the Lakers, based on reports that came out, Lakers are very high on Max Christie and kind of have more faith in him than Cam Reddish, which I understand. I mean, look, Max Christie looked phenomenal in Summer League. He's younger. He really has the potential and upside. I mean, Max Christie has the star level potential. But look, Cam Reddish could be legit one of the best 3-and-D players in the league. Like, he has that kind of upside. He has the athleticism. He has the size. He has the ability to create for himself. He can get to the basket. He can shoot in the mid-range. He can knock down the 3-ball. He can do a little bit of everything. This is a real basketball player that just needs an opportunity, just needs some structure, just needs some consistency, which is my concern with the Lakers, that he's not going to get that because this Lakers roster is so deep that minutes are going to be scarce, and that, I don't know if he's going to have the consistency in the role that the Lakers are going to be able to set up for him, right? Like, I could see him kind of being all over the place, where one night he's giving you 30 minutes, the next night he's giving you 4 minutes, the next night he's DNP, next night is 10 minutes, the next night is 6. Like, I could see him just kind of being all over the place. But I hope he shines. I hope the Lakers keep him long term. Again, he was a top 10 pick for a reason. He was believed to be one of the next big things as far as 3-and-D bigs go. And it's not like he's 40. He's still very young and has a world of potential and a world of growth. This is a guy that can really kind of change the narrative behind him. He's only 23. He's still a kid. Again, he could have been drafted. There were people older than him drafted in this year's draft. So the fact that he could have been in this year's draft bodes very well for the Lakers. And the beauty is he has NBA experience. So he's a guy that you can actually throw out there on the court and allow him to play, and he can have an impact. He can play multiple positions. He's got the size. He's got the wingspan. Again, Lakers seem... Again, these are just based on reports. Who knows how true they are? But they're kind of leaning more towards Max Christie in that eighth or ninth spot over Cam Reddish. But don't be shocked if Cam Reddish ends up earning it, right? He's bigger than Max Christie right now. If it's close, I could see them giving Reddish the nod, just because, again, it's your 8th, 9th spot. You have Max Christie, who, you give him the Gilbert Arenas treatment, where you kind of hide him a little bit, so that way you don't have to pay him as much, right? Especially if Cam Reddish is out there balling. It's like, well, now we don't have to pay Max Christie, $20 million a year. I'm not saying that they would do that, but you never know. Don't be surprised. Teams do that all the time. Again, I mentioned Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas publicly talked about that and how he got screwed over that. How, the Wizards basically just hid him so he wouldn't get a big contract. It happens. There's a lot of shady practices, but regardless, I think if Cam Reddish is given the opportunity, I think he'll deliver. I really do. I think if you give this kid 15 minutes a night, I think he's the guy that could get you double digits in scoring, really provide just quality scoring punch, defend the best player on the other team night in and night out, rebound, assist, do a little bit of everything. He is a basketball player. Darvin Ham likes basketball players. The Lakers seem to like basketball players. Cam Reddish is a basketball player. And I really think that the Lakers got themselves a nice little gem here with him. And so it's good to see him working hard, working in the lab, trying to improve his game and trying to get better, because that was a big question mark about him. Does he take basketball as serious as they need him to? Is this a guy that is willing to put in the hours and the work to improve and get better? We're seeing Cam Reddish actually make those attempts and make those efforts, which is what you want to see. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think, Cam Reddish? Do you like him? Do you not? Do you think he plays over Christie? Do you think Christie plays over him? Do you think they kind of split it? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below.